Here's your heads up to this sort of 5-minute quickie. It's all about my reaction to something I heard on the radio. It's not a rant, but it is something that I think it's important to know. And when you know it and you share what you know, the world will become a better place. Hey, this is the FMQ, the 5-minute quickie podcast, which is the 5-minute version of the Unplugged Personal Development podcast. And my name is Paul Clough, and it's here to help you be the person you really are, get you to change. Because if you don't change, nothing in your world will change. You have to be the change you want to see in yourself and others. You know, that's all there is to it. And we're going to do this until we get there. So if you're up for this little adventure of learning how to de-hypnotize yourself with hypnosis, with NLP, with all other kinds of processes, then come on this adventure with me and just learn to shine. There's longer podcasts which help you shine even brighter with more stuff, but this is snippets to get you thinking, to give you little gems. And I really hope that you're going to listen and enjoy every moment. So we get your heart beating in a way that you enjoy that every heartbeat. Okay, so let's go live with passion and have a listen.
Warning.
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 Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
Hi guys, it's Paul from Personal Development Unplugged, and weird thing happened to me today, not in a bad way, in a good way, because I was listening to someone on the radio, and they were talking about how they were an alcoholic, and they'd never been able to find help, which makes me question, how far do you look? And that's what I want to talk about today, because if you're having a problem, you don't have to look too far. But this person was quite convinced that he had to wait and wait and wait for help. And I think it was like being given help, being owed help. And he also said that he was an alcoholic and there was no reason for him to be an alcoholic because he's had such a wonderful childhood. He'd had many successful jobs, but each job had been crushed or had been destroyed by his excessive drinking. And he said there's been no triggers in his life. Well, do you know what? That to me just didn't ring true at all. Because if you think about it, if you've had a successful job and you sabotage it yourself, then you decided to do that. Not consciously, but unconsciously. You know, there's something there. There's a trigger either being too successful, or you'll be found out, or you don't deserve it, or I'm not good enough, or, you know, who am I to be better than X, Y, or Z? Maybe I've worked with people who, why should I be better than my father? So many people have a problem with earning more than their parents, which is so ridiculous when you think of, money increases anyway over time and different opportunities and these things. But this guy really was very, very upset. And he even said that, he knows if he goes to Alcoholics Anonymous, he will always be an alcoholic. Even for the next 40 years, he never drinks. He'll be an alcoholic. Well, to me, if you are not drinking for 40 years, you're not an alcoholic. Because you're not drinking. How can you be an alcoholic? An alcoholic, I think, is someone who drinks to excess. Alcohol, that is. And it can be changed. All you have to do is decide. We've talked about believe there's a way. All you have to do, believe there's a way, have the will to do whatever it takes, and look for a solution. I'm such a big advocate of what I do. Not me personally what I do, but I am. But, hypnotherapy, using hypnosis, NLP, timeline therapy, many wonderful other processes that you can incorporate within those skills that just make massive, lasting change, and they make quick and lasting change. And they're not painful. It's really weird. And I think sometimes we think of things like pain. It's going to be painful. And it's more painful in the way that we don't know what that pain's going to be, and we don't know what was that trigger. But I've yet to find a big one. In all my career, I tend to find that things started off really small, like a snowball. But as years go by, it's as if that pain or that issue, that emotion, that negative emotion, just seems to get a little bigger. And the more we try to stop it without working on it or listening to the blooming message that our unconscious mind is trying to do, or understand the conflict, because when we understand the conflict between what our unconscious mind is trying to do, that positive intention, and the actual behavior, then your unconscious mind decides to change as well. Seems to be what happens in my life anyway, and my experience working with clients. So, all I'm trying to say here is, I was hearing a voice that was saying things that I just felt that if so many people listen to it, they can believe it too. And I just don't believe it's true. I think there's so many wonderful, skillful people around, skillful therapists who have the intention of helping people change quickly and comfortably. And that's the thing, comfortably. It doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be painful. It's just a process of understanding, learning, and then deciding at the unconscious and conscious level to find a better way. Because I do believe your unconscious mind, your best friend, will always do what it can for you. And when it knows it's in conflict with itself or with its intention, it will look for a better way. And if we can, with the help of a good therapist, they'll help that your unconscious mind and your conscious mind to find better ways, better resources, better skills, better behaviors, and more importantly, I believe, the value, what's important to you, and the belief, the most wonderful, positive, empowering belief that will support you change and get what you both want. Because ultimately, that's what your unconscious mind wants. It wants the best for you. And sometimes it gets a little bit, wrapped up. Sometimes I've even worked with people where their unconscious mind seems to have forgotten why they even started the thing in the first place. And when you remind that unconscious mind, actually, it's not really working, it goes, bam, let's find a new way. And it's amazing. The client comes back the following week and goes, you know what, I can't believe the changes we've made. I can't believe what we've done. And I'll give you a little clue, another example. I was working with a relation of one of my friends, and they had a bit of a problem with drugs. Now, a lot of people think, and certainly my friend thought, can't be done. Once you're hooked, you're hooked. Because it's pretty powerful stuff, I guess. But he just wanted to do anything. So again, a little bit like a last resort. Asked me if I could help. And so I did. 2 sessions. I even got a report back the other couple of days ago. And this has been like a couple of months since. His relations said, I know Paul mucked with my brain a little bit. But wow, haven't looked back. And he's now holding down a very successful job. His private life is coming back to better than he could imagine. And life is becoming a joy again, which it should be. So, there is no pain. I don't believe there's that pain anyway. But there's a way. There's always a way to help. And there's always a way to help yourself. Now, the only thing I'm saying, really, more importantly about this guy talking about his alcoholism and things, you need to get off your bum and find somebody. Because if you're doing something, you're doing something. Taking action. And taking that inspired action. But if you're having a problem, doesn't matter how big the problem is at the moment. It's just a big, big snowball now. But when you resolve it at that very small snowball level, everything just melts away and changes. Well, that's been my experience anyway. And I'm sure a lot of my colleagues who I don't know in this field, I think they experience that same type of thing. Certainly what I hear, how quickly they can help people change. Seemingly things that shouldn't be able to change, but we believe we can because we've seen it. So that's just my little take today on just a little snippet of a radio show. It was very sad to hear that guy speak. But he really, once he finds a way, there's a way. So this is just really for any of you out there who are suffering, but also just as importantly, if you see a friend suffering, or you think they're suffering, have the balls to go and ask them, how are you doing? And don't get fobbed off. Yeah, I'm fine. No, really. I'm worried. I'm concerned. I'd like you if I can help in any way. But even if you just say, why don't you have a listen to this podcast? I think there'll be some stuff in there. Recommend. I'd love you to recommend this podcast, but any podcast that you think is and will be of use. But if you just say, have a listen, I think you'll find something of use. And then, even if it's not of use, you can always say, well, you can always email them. They'll write a subject, or write a subject. They'll put that subject into a podcast and give you even more help. There you go. Just a few thoughts I had, and I thought I'd record them for you. A little bit somber, I guess, but let's not be somber, because there is a way. There's always a way. I know it, and it doesn't have to be so long. And that's the beauty of this work that I do. You see so many people change so quickly. So know that you can enjoy every heartbeat. And just think of it. There's always a way. We've talked about it in the previous podcasts, the FMQs. Just get the right belief. Because you don't have to believe that old belief. What would happen if it was easy? What would you do if it was easy to find somebody or find a solution? Oh, well, I'd call somebody. Well, there you go. Call somebody. Simple as that. Get off your bum. Go and do something. Because it will help. And then we begin to evolve. And we said before, as you evolve, your environment evolves. And I'm in your environment. And I want to evolve with you. Support you. Get what you want. And enjoy. So, just know that you can and you will have more fun than you can stand. Just believe that. I do. Bye-bye now. Oh, just have a little listen to this ending, this outro. It's all about what happens or what's available to you. Okay? Enjoy. Bye-bye now. Hey, here's your usual last-minute reminder. Now, time is, well, very rare, and we need to look after our time. And I know your time is called upon by other things and other people to share their works too. So the next time you're thinking about sharing, if you could just think about this podcast and share it with maybe just 2 or 3 of your closest friends or people who just that would appreciate it. That would be really good, and it would help grow this little niche that we're carving out for ourselves of personal development, unplugged personal development. If you go to iTunes, that would be great if you have the time to subscribe, maybe leave a nice review. That would be even kinder. And one more thing. The one thing I keep banging on about is all the hypnosis and the NLP processes for all the podcasts are now easily to get at paulcloughonline.com/podcasts. No, not podcasts, podcast, singular. And you go there, they're all there for you, and I'm adding to them at least every month. Okay? Do that. You'll have a great time, and they're all downloadable. So they're in one place, they're downloadable, and you can have more fun than you can stand doing it. There's also loads of stuff on paulcloughonline.com. There's Supreme Inner Confidence. It's a lovely program to grow your self-esteem and really have the confidence that I know you have got, but allow it to come to the fore so you can be truly aligned and get the goals and the dreams that you want. There's also Free Your Life from Anxiety. It's a lovely course, I believe it's a lovely course, to let go of anxiety, because no one needs it in the world at all. You don't need the anxiety, you don't need the stress. Learn how to just let it go. And again, that Supreme Inner Confidence, what more do you need? And on that Free Your Life of Anxiety program, the first 5 days are absolutely free. So you can test it, and even, you never know, you might even let go of your anxiety in those first 5 days. People do. Hey, have a look around, have a poke around. There's lots of stuff there, and enjoy. And if you didn't know, you can also get this podcast on Spotify now. Hey, until next time, have more fun than you can stand.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.